They're rich, they're gorgeous, but behind the fame lies a secret no one can confirm. These are 15 of Japan's most powerful men, loved by millions, whispered about by everyone. Money, fame, mystery, and rumors that could change everything. Are you ready to find out who they really are? Ryusei Yokohama, it is said, possesses two things that no one can truly fathom: his true identity and the secret life hidden behind the spotlight. He is so private, so perfect, almost untouchable, and somehow that very mystery adds to his appeal. Ryusei is rumored to have been born into a wealthy family in Yokohama. As a child, he studied martial arts, piano, even acting, subjects that shaped a man of gentleness and composure. Yet when asked about his past, he simply smiles and says softly, "I was lucky to have had a peaceful childhood." An ambiguous answer, revealing nothing, yet concealing everything. Then came the whispers, the headlines. The genderless beauty of Japanese cinema, the media called him. Every glance, every photo, became a puzzle for fans to solve. Long hair, soft eyes, a refined, elegant style, blurring the lines between masculine and feminine, creating a mesmerizing presence that defied all definitions. Yet Ryusei remained silent. He neither denied nor affirmed. He simply shone, a living question wrapped in quiet mystery. And perhaps that was the point. His mystery never needed to be solved. It needed to be felt. Because Ryusei Yokohama didn't need to tell the world who he was. People saw what they wanted: strength, beauty, and vulnerability, all in one frame. Perhaps through his silence, he taught us something rare: that identity is not about choosing sides, but about embracing all the nuances of who you are. And somewhere, behind those calm, distant eyes, you can almost hear him whisper, "Maybe I don't need a definition, when I've already become the question." It is said that Masaki Aiba was born into luxury, the son of a wealthy family in Chiba, surrounded by seaside villas and quiet gardens that hummed their own lonely tune. But money was never the reason the world couldn't take its eyes off him. It was something deeper, a beauty that defied all prejudices, a gentleness that disarmed without trying. Aiba wore it like a second skin, too fragile for the stereotype of masculinity, too serene to be called delicate. When he smiled, there was restraint, as if he knew every gesture could awaken curiosity. When he bowed, it wasn't a performance, it was grace. And that grace, that silence, has fed rumors for years. They whispered about his past, his loves, his truth. Yet Aiba never denied, never explained. He simply carries on, singing, acting, living, while the noise swirls around him like Tokyo rain. Some say Japan never knew what to do with someone like him. A man who could charm both women and men. Someone who seemed to exist beyond definition. Others think his calmness is armor. But perhaps Aiba understands what most celebrities forget: that mystery is priceless, and authenticity needs no defense. As time passes, he still shines, untouched by scandal, unshaken by gossip. There's a quiet beauty in that stillness. Because while others shout to prove themselves, Aiba shows that silence can be strength. And gentleness can be rebellion. As we explore Japan's most captivating stars, each wrapped in myths of wealth, fame, and identity, one truth remains: behind every perfect smile lies an untold story. And here we tell those stories, to understand, to feel, to connect. Because in the end, it is our shared humanity that shines the brightest. They say, silence can speak louder than fame. And in the glamorous world of Japanese idols, no one embodies that truth more than Kaito Takahashi. Born in Kanagawa, into a family that seemed to breathe elegance, Kaito grew up surrounded by beauty and privilege. While other children were still learning how to dream, he was already living in one: a private dance studio, a grand piano glowing under soft light. Even his first stage outfits were hand-tailored before he ever stepped into the spotlight. But what drew people in wasn't the wealth, it was the mystery. Kaito never flaunted his life, he curated it. Every outfit, every subtle glance, every pause in an interview felt intentional, as if he were speaking through silence. When he appeared, the lights didn't just shine on him, they bent toward him. Then came the whispers, the late-night texts, the blurred photos, the endless conversations about his role in the night beyond the tri-cornered window. A performance so tender, so real, that fans began to wonder, was he acting or confessing? Kaito never answered. He didn't need to. A small, knowing smile replaced every denial, turning rumor into legend. That was his art, not just performance, but control. The calm mastery of someone who understood that mystery itself was the most luxurious thing of all. Today, his fortune is said to hover around $3 million, a modest figure by Hollywood standards, but every cent feels intentional. He invests quietly, creates passionately, and guards his truth as if it were sacred. Some call him the intellectual idol. Others say he's the man Japan still can't define. Perhaps both are right. Perhaps that's why the world keeps watching, waiting for the moment Kaito Takahashi finally reveals who he truly is. And maybe, just maybe, that's where our next story begins. The Tokyo night sky was no longer as bright as it once was when Shun Oguri walked through. As an actor, a visionary, he didn't chase attention. Attention was drawn to him. With his calm demeanor and those knowing eyes, he made mystery his signature. Magazines called him the man with the face women want to protect, but men secretly fear. Then came the whispers, questions about his sexuality, his identity, his quiet charisma. But Oguri never listened to the rumors. He just smiled and said, "Artists shouldn't explain themselves. Ambiguity is the soul of art." That phrase became his weapon and his trademark. While others chased the spotlight, Oguri built an empire, quietly. With an estimated annual income of $4 to $6 million, he owns luxury homes in Tokyo and Los Angeles, a film production company, and a fashion label known for its elegant, minimalist style. Insiders call him the silent king of Japanese cinema. He stays away from social media, rarely gives interviews, but every appearance feels cinematic, as if he's always performing, even in silence. What draws people in isn't just his wealth, it's the duality he carries, strength wrapped in softness, clarity hidden within mystery. He proves that power doesn't need to shout, it can whisper. And in that quiet, he redefined what it means to be a man in Japanese entertainment. Shun Oguri is more than just an actor, he's a paradox. A beauty who questions gender, a businessman cloaked in silence, an artist who never explains. And perhaps that's why the world cannot stop watching, because the quieter he becomes, the more we want to know everything. He stepped into the spotlight with the serenity of someone who had already seen fame, fortune. Takumi Kitamura, Japan's golden boy, a man wrapped in a mystery that never faded. Born into a wealthy Tokyo family, he grew up surrounded by fine art, classical music, and the quiet privilege of sophistication. Even as a child, Takumi possessed a rare elegance, the kind that whispered rather than shouted. They say he's wealthy enough not to flaunt it, and beautiful enough not to need explaining. Then came My Beautiful Man, and everything changed. His portrayal of a same-sex love story was so natural, so breathtakingly intimate, that the line between role and reality began to blur. Fans whispered, tabloids speculated. Was Takumi just acting or revealing a truth long hidden? His answer? Calm, poetic, unforgettable. I don't play a gay man. I play a man in love. That one sentence redefined him. It wasn't a confession, it was art. Pure, fearless, beautifully ambiguous. Behind his soft, charming exterior lies an empire. Acting, singing, modeling, directing. A fortune estimated between $2 and $4 million. yet no amount of wealth defines him. Takumi remains a paradox, graceful, reserved, magnetic. The kind of man who draws the world in, not because he's loud, but because silence looks so good on him. In an industry built on labels, he refuses to wear one. Maybe that's why his story isn't over yet. Because in the glittering world of Japanese stars, mystery isn't a mask, it's power. And as we move to the next story, we keep searching for truth behind the faces we thought we knew, for beauty, for depth, and for those unseen corners of fame that remind us we're all connected by the stories we share and the emotions we dare to feel. Beneath the glitz and glamour of Japan's entertainment world, there's a man who chooses silence over the spotlight, Ryo Yoshizawa. While other stars share every detail of their lives, Ryo disappears as soon as a movie ends. No social media, no gossip. No one peeks into his private world. His quiet, almost poetic demeanor has become his trademark. He's said to come from a well-educated, well-off family, but Ryo has never taken that privilege for granted. He lets his work speak for him, and the mystery only deepens. His calm demeanor, his gentle gaze, has made him the focus of countless rumors about his identity, his love life, and his true self. Some magazines called him a soft rebel, a man brave enough to show tenderness in an industry that worships strength. He pushed boundaries, daring to redefine what masculinity meant on screen. In a rare interview, when asked about gender and art, Ryo simply said, "I don't think creativity should be limited by gender. I just want to be honest with my feelings." The words were profound, soft, sincere, but undeniably powerful. It wasn't a confession, it was a freedom. Today, Ryo Yoshizawa is one of Japan's top actors, a global brand ambassador, a quiet force in the film industry. His net worth, estimated at more than $5 million, pales in comparison to what truly defines him, because his charm doesn't come from wealth. It comes from mystery, the elegant distance that makes people wonder who he really is. Fans around the world admire him, not for the answers he gives, but for the questions he leaves. So where will you watch today? How do you feel about Ryo's quiet world? A world where power lies in softness and truth lies between the lines. Let us know in the comments below. Your voice inspires every new story we share. In the glamorous world of Japanese cinema, Kenichi Matsuyama stands out from the crowd, an enigma wrapped in elegance. Born in Aomori, he never chased fame. Fame found him. With his breakthrough role as L in Death Note, Matsuyama became a global symbol of quiet strength. His eyes sharp yet vulnerable, his demeanor both masculine and incredibly gentle. Audiences couldn't tell if he was acting, or simply revealing something the world wasn't ready to understand. The media called him genderless at heart, a man who seemed to move through emotion rather than identity. While other stars flaunted charisma, Kenichi carried an invisible weight, mystery. Married, a father, yet always surrounded by whispers questioning his true self. He never denied it, never confirmed it. His only answer, "People have many layers, I keep a few for myself." Rumor has it he's a reclusive millionaire, living in a secluded mountain villa surrounded by art, by music, and silence. No lavish parties, no scandals, just the gentle murmur of solitude, and an estimated fortune of nearly $8 million. But wealth is only one side of him. The other, untouchable, magnetic, endlessly fascinating, is what fans crave. On screen, he disappears into his roles, blurring the line between character and self. Each performance feels like a confession, spoken in code. Watching him is to feel understood and somehow unsettled. He makes audiences question the meaning of gender, of fame, even of truth itself. Kenichi Matsuyama doesn't explain himself. He doesn't need to. His silence speaks louder than any headline, and within that silence, he built not just a career, but a legend. A reminder that mystery, when mastered, becomes power. In the glamorous world of Japanese entertainment, where image is everything, few stars shine as mysteriously as Taisuke Fujigaya, the charismatic lead singer of Kiss My T2. He's wealthy, successful, and incredibly charming. But behind that flawless stage presence lies a story wrapped in whispers. Whispers about love, identity, and the quiet courage to be yourself. It all began when fans noticed a change. His style became softer, more fluid, elegant in a way that defied easy labels. Magazines called it artistic reinvention. Others looked deeper. Then came the 2013 interview, when Fujigaya calmly said, "Love should be free. It shouldn't be bound by form or rules." That single line exploded across tabloids. Some called it brave, others called it a confession. But he never explained, never denied. He just smiled, that same quiet, knowing smile, and kept performing. Maybe that's what made him so alluring. His silence became mystery, and mystery turned into power. Behind the scenes, he built an empire worth more than $5 million, fueled by music, acting, fashion, and television. But ask anyone who has followed his journey, and they'll tell you, it wasn't the money or the fame. It was his unapologetic honesty that defined him. Fujigaya represents something rare, a modern man unafraid to live between definitions. He dares to challenge the very idea of what manliness means. In a world so quick to judge, he chose creativity. In a culture built on conformity, he chose individuality. And maybe that's why fans across the world still can't look away. Because deep down, we all long for that same freedom, to be seen not for what we're told we should be, but for who we truly are. Kentaro Sakaguchi, a name that resonates like a soothing melody. In the glamorous world of Japanese entertainment, he is more than just a model or an actor. He is an enigma that captivates millions. With his sharp features, quiet eyes, and natural grace, Kentaro seems carved from another world. So refined, so calm, almost unreal. And that is where the whispers begin. They say no man can be that perfect without hiding something. Fashion magazines call him the borderline between masculinity and femininity, while fans whisper about his gaze, the kind that can draw anyone in, no matter who they are. But Kentaro never answers. He neither confirms nor denies. He only smiles, delicately, knowingly, untouchably. His silence has become his signature, his strongest statement. Yet behind that quiet beauty lies a man of focus and ambition. From humble beginnings on the Tokyo catwalk to acclaimed performances on screen, Kentaro has built his reputation on precision, not noise. Now, with an estimated net worth of $5 million, he stands among Japan's wealthiest stars. Still, what fascinates people most isn't the fortune, it's the mystery. That thin, trembling line between myth and truth. Around the world, fans see him as more than a celebrity. He's a symbol of freedom, of identity, of living beyond labels, proof that beauty doesn't need boundaries. And that authenticity can exist in silence. Kentaro's presence defies definition, inviting people to see identity as fluid, not fixed. Maybe that's why his story endures, because sometimes mystery speaks louder than confession, and silence reveals everything. He walked into the room, and silence fell. Masahiro Higashide, tall, cool, composed, the kind of man whose presence carried mystery, wrapped in elegance. In Japan's glittering world of fame and fortune, few stars could command such quiet power. Yet behind that impeccable composure lay a question the public kept asking. Who was he, really? For years, Higashide had been the epitome of refined masculinity, but not the loud, overpowering kind. His style was minimalist, his voice calm and deliberate, every gesture almost poetic. Some called it grace, others whispered it was something else. On screen, he became anyone. A broken lover, a fallen hero, a man hiding his truth behind a placid gaze. But off-screen, his silence spoke louder than words. He never chased attention, never corrected the rumors. When asked about love, he simply said, "Everyone deserves to be loved in their own way." That single sentence set the internet ablaze. Was it a confession? A shift? A philosophy? No one knows. Maybe that was his power, turning mystery into beauty. While tabloids chased the drama, fans saw something deeper. They said his eyes could make both men and women fall in love. Perhaps it was wealth that made him famous, but it was mystery that made him unforgettable. Masahiro Higashide was more than an actor. He was a question we couldn't answer, a story we couldn't stop telling. And as we move on to the next name on our list, another icon, another secret, remember this. In the dazzling world of Japan's richest and most fascinating stars, the truth is never as simple as it seems. Under the bright Tokyo sky, Sho Hirano appears like a dream made of light and shadow. His face, too beautiful to be labeled, blurs the line between strength and fragility. On stage, he moves with quiet confidence. Yet behind those gentle, haunting eyes lies something deeper, something unspoken. Fans call him the man who belongs to no world. Hirano, once a small-town boy with only one ambition, has risen to become one of Japan's elite. Today, his fortune is estimated at $5 to $7 million, built on music, acting, and fashion. But it's not the money that captivates the world, it's his mystery. His style defies all expectations. Sparkling suits, lace shirts, silver rings that catch the light, like secrets. Every appearance sparks gossip. Is Sho hiding another truth about himself? The rumors began years ago, after he said in an interview, "Love needs no explanation." That one statement turned into a storm. Some saw courage, others saw confession. But Sho never corrected himself. He let the silence speak. Maybe he knew the world wasn't ready for answers. Maybe he understood that mystery keeps the soul alive. What makes Hirano so alluring is not the speculation, it's his calm rebellion. In a world that demands definitions, he stands tall, graceful, free. He reminds us that identity isn't something to prove, it's something to live. Every performance, every quiet smile feels like a challenge to look beyond gender, beyond the rumors, and see the art of simple existence. Sho Hirano, not just a name, but a question, hanging in the twilight. In the glittering world of Japanese entertainment, one name stands out, Masaki Okada. A man whose beauty straddles that delicate line between strength and serenity. His eyes, deep, intimate, yet distant. His smile, soft but mysterious, like a secret, whispered only to those who dare to look closely. For years, Okada has been the subject of endless curiosity. Not for scandal, but for something far more elusive, the truth about himself. When asked about love, he once said, "Emotions should never be limited by gender." That was it. No explanation, no follow-up. The world fell silent for just a moment, and then exploded. Was he confessing, challenging the norms, or simply freeing himself from labels that never truly defined him? Behind the enigma stands a man of extraordinary success. With an estimated net worth of over $31 million, Okada lives a life of quiet luxury, untouched by arrogance. He drives through Tokyo's neon-lit nights, where fame burns too bright, and chooses solitude over spectacle. His roles reflect his contradictions, fierce yet fragile, confident yet searching. On screen, he makes audiences believe in love, heartbreak, and the quiet ache of being misunderstood. Off-screen, he remains a riddle, a symbol of grace, gentleness, and fearless authenticity. In a world that rushes to label, Okada stands as proof that mystery still has power. That wealth isn't only measured in money, but in the freedom to be undefinable. And maybe that's why people can't stop watching, because somewhere, in his silence, we see our own reflection, asking softly, "Who am I?" when no one is looking. Few stars shine as brightly as Toma Ikuta, quietly and intensely. He's not the type of celebrity who's always been loud. He doesn't chase the spotlight, yet somehow it always finds him. There's a mystery in the way he moves, a calm confidence that feels almost hypnotic. His charisma isn't built on perfection, but on contradiction. Masculine, yet gentle. Strong, yet fragile, like a secret the world is still trying to decipher. For more than a decade, Toma has stood in the spotlight, but never once tried to own it. No scandals, no broken relationships, just flawless performances and that quiet, enigmatic smile. Yet behind that silence, rumors began to swirl, soft at first, then unstoppable. Questions about his love life, his identity, and the truth behind that calm gaze. Fans started to wonder, was Toma hiding something, or had he simply chosen to live beyond the boundaries others placed on him? On screen, he brought to life characters that defied expectations. Men who felt deeply, loved fearlessly, and expressed emotions society told them to hide. Off-screen, his soft voice and steady eyes blurred the line between strength and vulnerability. That's why people began to call him the man without borders, a soul too complex to be limited by gender, by image, or by fame. When asked what kind of person he loved, Toma once said softly, "I love the soul, not the gender." Those words sent shockwaves across social media, not because they were scandalous, but because they were honest. In that moment, he became more than an actor. He became a symbol, a quiet voice for those who had long felt unseen, undefined, and unheard. With an estimated net worth of $5 million, Toma could have chosen luxury, mansions, fast cars, endless parties. Instead, he chose peace, simple homes, long walks through Shibuya at dawn, a life filled with books, art, and stillness. His wealth isn't just measured in money, but in calm, in grace, in mystery. Because Toma Ikuta reminds us that silence can be magnetic, mystery can be power, and sometimes the most unforgettable stories are the ones whispered, not shouted. They call him Rikimaru Chikada, the dancer who flows like water yet burns like fire. In a world where fame demands definition, Rikimaru remains free. His face sharp yet gentle. His eyes calm yet fierce. He lives in the gray zone. Too elegant to be a real man, too bold to be weak. And that is exactly where the mystery begins. When asked about love, Rikimaru once said, "Anyone can make your heart flutter, no matter who they are." That single line, simple yet powerful, shook social media. Was he hinting at something, or simply speaking the truth of a free spirit? He never confirms, never denies. He just keeps dancing, every move of his body whispering a secret no one can truly decipher. Born with rhythm and vision, Rikimaru rose from small studios in Hyogo to the world's grandest stages. His work with artists across Asia and the West brought him not only fame, but fortune. Today, his net worth is estimated at $2 million. Yet behind the spotlight, his eyes tell another story. A quiet loneliness, the ache of a man walking between two worlds, the stage and himself. Some call him a symbol of genderlessness, a reflection of our time, where art breaks every boundary. Others see him as a rebel, a man unafraid to erase society's lines. Perhaps that's why he captivates millions. Rikimaru doesn't need to prove who he simply is. His silence fuels the fire. Every rumor, every fan theory adds another layer to his legend. But beneath it all lies a deeper truth. Rikimaru's story isn't about gender or fame. It's about freedom. Freedom to be seen for who you truly are. And to be loved for a truth that cannot be spoken, only felt. And as his final dance fades into darkness, Another name begins to rise, another star, whose story still shines, waiting to be told. Kento Nakajima, a man who seems to have been born from a dream. His smile is like sunlight piercing through the mist, his eyes deep and unfathomable, gentle yet aloof. He carries a charisma that makes people wonder, where does admiration end and desire begin? In the glamorous world of Japanese entertainment, Kento is more than just a star. He is a mystery wrapped in elegance and whispers. On stage, he moves like a work of art, confident, gentle, enchanting. Every step feels deliberate, every glance like a secret. Women adore him, men admire him. Some even confess they're drawn to his quiet charm. His presence erases all boundaries, leaving only fascination. When asked about love, Kento once said softly, "Emotions don't always follow directions." Just 10 words, yet they ignited countless debates online. Was it a confession, or simply the truth from a soul that refuses to be labeled? Behind that serene smile lies a fortune, nearly $7 million. From music to acting to luxury endorsements, Kento built his empire with precision and calm, but money never defined him. He walks through fame untouched by its noise, graceful, private, magnetic. What captivates the world isn't scandal, it's silence. His refusal to explain himself makes him even more intriguing. In a culture obsessed with clarity, Kento's mystery feels like quiet defiance, a reminder that strength can live in stillness, that beauty doesn't need a label. Perhaps that's why he's more than a celebrity. To many, Kento Nakajima is freedom, to love, to exist, simply to be. And as his story fades into the next, Japan's starlit sky still holds faces like his, rich, complex, unforgettable. He was the man Japan couldn't stop talking about, Yuki Yamada. On screen, he was the embodiment of power, piercing eyes, a sharp jawline, a presence that dominated every scene. But when the camera stopped rolling, something changed. His voice softened, his movements slowed. It was as if a different Yuki emerged, calm, thoughtful, almost fragile. That contradiction was what made him so irresistible, and what fueled endless gossip about who he really was. For years, fans and tabloids had been searching for the truth. Photos of him walking alone through the neon lights of Tokyo, rumors of secret relationships, the way he lingered in interviews, the way he looked at someone just a second too long. And when asked about love, he simply smiled, whispering, "I think feelings are limitless." A simple statement, yet it set social media ablaze. Was it a confession, a redirection, or poetry? Behind this mystery lies a treasure trove. Yuki's net worth, estimated at $8 million, grows year after year. A testament to a man who built an empire not with noise, but with silence. Brands admire his elegance, directors trust his discipline, and audiences, they can't look away. Perhaps that's his greatest secret, knowing exactly how much to reveal and how much to hide. In a world obsessed with labels, Yuki stands somewhere in between, strong yet gentle, genuine yet untouchable. His story isn't just about fame or fortune, it's about identity, courage, and the quiet beauty of not fitting into any mold. And as this story fades into silence, remember, wealth fades, fame shifts, but mystery always stays. Every glance, every rumor, every unanswered question, that's what keeps us watching. Because in the end, the most captivating thing about them isn't what we know, it's what we'll never know. And that is where tonight's story ends. But the truth? It never really ends, it only hides, waiting for those who dare to look closer. Behind every flawless face lies a story untold. Behind every elegant smile, a secret the world may never know. And somewhere between fame and silence, beauty and truth, we find the very essence of what makes us human. Because these stars, with all their wealth, their mystery, their contradictions, They remind us that perfection is just an illusion. And the real allure lies in what we can't explain. If you felt that pull, that quiet curiosity, then you already belong here. Here we don't chase rumors, we explore them. We don't judge the mystery, we celebrate it. And every week, we'll open another door to another untold story, another side of fame you were never meant to see. So if you love this world of secrets and beauty, hit like to let this story live a little longer. Leave a comment. Tell us which mystery captured you most. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because the next story is already waiting, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. And as the lights fade and the music slows, remember, sometimes the most beautiful truths are the ones whispered in silence.